I'm assuming it's live. Wow. So, first of all, the law with regard to things like tasers, stun guns, that kind of stuff, it's very draconian and very paranoid to the point whereby even to have fireworks is getting where you need to have an actual firearms license just to have a firework. This is a law they brought in about a week ago and it went through Parliament very quietly. Oh, the poor veterans, they're suffering PTSD from explosions going off, and therefore they want to restrict people having fireworks. It's not quite as bad as it is in Ireland, but it is still pretty bad. Tasers, the law is you're not allowed to have one without a firearms license. So this is not a taser. This is a step-up arc generator to make pretty sparks. Okie dokie? That's the legal disclaimer. Now, the price. The cost of these things. Not used to go live. Need vodka. Yes, also homemade vodka. So the cost of these things, if you just go and get the bits, AliExpress. So if you get your little step-up generator, which is this thing, let's have some illumination. Some illumination. There we go. Bright light. So what we have is, this is your step-up generator. And yeah, it does the job. It really does. So what you do with this, it takes in whatever voltage you put in this end, for example, 3.7 volt, and it gives you, it steps it up using copper coils and magnets and gives you a big blast of energy at the top. If you include a very small circuit board, that will give you a different ampage, which means you can start fires like with your arc, your, where's mine? Oh, no, let's get it. With your rechargeable lighters that I like to use. This thing, those things cost you for this piece, your battery compartment, 2 switches, that would cost you online 2 to 3 quid. And there, I've got one, I played with it, they are fun. Now, to give you an idea of the dangerous aspect, I used my rechargeable 5-volt battery on it. They're rated for between 3.7 and 6-volt batteries. So therefore, I used that one, my arm went numb, but it didn't kill me. So it's not massive legal issues, considering that the NHS are exterminating British people at the moment with AIDS, hepatitis, all the rest of it. You got Johnson & Johnson have admitted to putting asbestos in baby powder for 100 years. So I'm not too worried about doing a little taser. Sorry, I mean step-up arc generator. Cheers. I am not a mechanic or an engineer or an electrician. I'm a fat old biker without a bike. So first thing that I'm going to do is, if I can get that angle a bit better. There we go. You can see my flabby gut. Whoa. A year being crippled and I got fat. Urgh. So what you have is, for the extra few quid, you get a casing, basically. You get your same bits as before, you get a casing. It's not a dildo. Yeah, that's what you get, extra. But it's the right size and shape. You could go down the DIY shop in the plumbing section and buy these same bits, and these are PVCU 32.6, which is a plumbing part. Just get the parts, make them yourself. But it's priced up online. It was £3 something plus £3 something delivery. It worked out £8-ish, less than 9 quid. That's not even cut straight. But anyway, it works out less than 9 quid for all these bits. Excuse me, Crispies. The only extras I've got, I'm going to add to this from what came in the kit are, oh, you wanker. That was one of the screws, box. Are 2 little screws. That's all I'm adding to it. I need to find another one. Luckily, I have backups. It's just, I basically keep screws by dismantle stuff. Computer breaks. I don't throw it in the bin. I scrap it. So I take it all the little bits. There we go. No. So it's literally just a couple of little screws like this, and that's what I need for the actual contact at the end. Because otherwise, all you've got is the wire coming through. It's a basic circuit. I've never done it before. And I've got a lot of hassle with nerves, tendons, and ligaments all smashed up. So gripping things is awkward for me. So this is your end result. Zappy zappy. This bit you connect to your power supply via a couple of switches. That should be it, hopefully. First thing I'm going to do is drill out these two holes and make it a little bit bigger, because I can change the color on that light. It's a bit harsh. How's that? Oh, yeah, a bit better. It's more of an orange light when I'm looking at it, but on the screen it looks a bit better. Anyway, so I'm going to drill that out to make it a little bit bigger, just so the screws can go through without damaging it. What you could do is heat up your screws, screw them in, and that way it will shrink to fit when it goes through the plastic. So literally just increase the hole size a little bit. Going from Asian to Caucasian. So you want it so it's a little bit of a fit, but not too tight. If it's too tight, you put it in, it's going to split the plastic. So that fits perfect. Just reach out, that is. There is a proper job, is what they call that. Tools I'm using are a little screwdriver for the screws. I've got a heat gun, which cost me £2 or £3. Bit of bubble wrap that came in the packaging. I've got a knife. I've got that thing which I've never used, and I might use it, I don't know. Normally for stripping wires, I just use a teeth or, a knife. And a pair of scissors. That's about it, really. So, I'm nervous doing this because I've not done it before. That's what she said. So I want to cut this down as short as possible. The longer the wire, the less power that goes through. I'm hoping that if I get the 3.7 battery on this, which you also have to provide your own 3.7 battery, but you can get those. It's cheaper to buy batteries and a charger together than it is just to buy rechargeable batteries. It's a stupid way of doing things, but that's the way it works. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this. I don't want to cut it too short to the point whereby I've got no wire left, but do I want to use this thing to cut it? So I want it to go through. I want to have plenty of wire left over. I'd rather have wire bunched up than, because it's going to be a pain to try to add wire to it. Well, if you bend it too much as well, it'll snap in there. And I don't fancy taking it apart. It's a very simple process inside. You can just smack it apart, fix it, and put it back together again. These things are extremely cheap. The whole lot, plus the switches, you can buy, not including the plastic case, for like £2. The actual switches on their own cost £1. And you get 2 of them. So I'm going to try and use the wire stripper, which I've never used before. It works. It's one of those things. It doesn't make logical sense. Yeah, that was not good. That actually pulled that wire out of the housing slightly. So yeah, I don't like using that because I'm hoping it hasn't damaged inside there. But that's the problem using these kind of tools. Right, so now I've got that. Yeah, solid. Old-fashioned, old school. There we go. See, with the knife, what I've done, I've got notches in the knife. It's not just for cutting through wood. That way you can actually get it to the size of the wire you want. So just put it on there, push down hard, and just pull it off. That's right. Yeah, okay, get it, this is right. So that is on there. Little twist. If you twist it too much, the grease from your fingers will go on there and it could weaken the charge. This is where it gets really, really awkward for me because of the damage to my tendons trying to grip something small. Because what I want to do is, things you got with that little package, you got a little bit of extra wire, 2 bits. No, you got a little bit of extra wire to mess about with. You got your battery casing, you got your 2 switches, you got your 1 hard off-on switch, your safety switch, and then you got your actual activation switch there. They're both push and lock type things. So you push it in and it clicks into place, which is nice and easy to handle. So I've now got 2 extra bits of wire. Hopefully it didn't cut too short. This is shrinkable plastic. Something I'd never really heard of until recently. And actually that's why I bought the air gun. Because what it is, you put this on your 2 wires together, heat it up with a heat gun, and it will shrink. Basically like a cleaner way of using, instead of having to use something like instant tape. So the theory I'm going to be working on, because I have checked these screws and they are conductive. Sometimes you'll get them aluminium and they won't be conductive. So the idea is, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this actually. Because I want it to go most of the way up that screw. Oh, you're stuck on that bit of plastic. Yeah, I should really clean these screws off first. There's a gunk on them. So I want that much. So most of the screw is covered. That much. But a lot of this stuff, it is so cheap to go and buy online. That's why I keep getting slagged off by Trump and all those other oives. Buy American, buy American. It all comes from China. It just costs you 100 times the amount, as well as your soul. Blah, 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 blah. So, right. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just nervous. I can go in the box. And a lot of this stuff is cheaper to buy online, get it sent from China, than it is to pop down the local bloody shop, which is ridiculous. Oh yeah, the bubble wrap, I'm going to use it to put it in so it's not rattling together. Don't want to. Also, these 2 bits coming out this end, it shouldn't make any difference if it's positive or negative because it's just to make a circuit. Right. I love this sort of thing. A lot of this stuff, it's basically a magnifying glass with a light, LED lights in it. You've got dodgy eyesight like me, it's a very, very handy thing to have. So all I'm going to do with this, hopefully it'll work, just wrap it around there. Yeah, there's a lot of crap on that screw thread. If there's crap on this thread, it's not going to make a contact with the metal. Yeah, that's just plastic. Put the thing together, electrical stuff, then they melt plastic on top or a resin on top to keep it waterproof, which also makes it non-conductive. So that should be okay. That was all right. Right. So that is just going to get wrapped around here. Right. See if I can move that camera actually. I was going to do it on my phone as well and then edit it so it's not quite so boring. And the odds are that my internet is going to get turned off because it's the cheapest internet in the country, possibly the world. But it's a case of, there we go. How's that looking? Right on my clock, dear love. Right, that's a bit better, kind of, I think. Right, so you got it around that one. So the idea is to put this on top like that. I'm so glad I got this bloody magnifying glass. Even with my glasses, it's still a bit tricky to see. Now, is that going to burn me if I use that heat gun on me? Possibly. Ow! Ow! That gets pretty bloody hot. That is nice and snug. It's to hold it in place, basically. That's the main objective of using that shrink wrap stuff. It's just to hold the wire in place. And the reason I'm using screws instead of having a wire go through, so that way there's less chance of it breaking or damaging something. So, next one. Screw, screw, screw. That's one with a bit of plastic stuck on there. I wonder if I can melt it off. Going to put it a bit further up the thread this time, so I can bypass that crappy plastic that's on there. That's melted. Because I only need the tip exposed, just that little bit at the end for contact. You could just use an old-fashioned gas lighter to do the same job, but there's also the chance you might actually melt it and set fire to it. Whereas this little thing, it's actually USB powered, so it's not exactly. You could use a little power pack to run it, so you wouldn't actually need to worry about having it plugged in the mains. Right, that's done. Right, they are now done. And all I've got to do with those in theory is just screw them in. Oh, I've got the wire around it the same way as the thread. So when I'm screwing it in, it will actually tighten that wire a little bit as it's pushing it in. So in theory, I can just go on there and it's done. What I'm going to add to it, even though there's no instructions come with it, all I'm going to do is get a bit of double wrap and just put it in between there, just to give it a little bit of shock absorber when it's inside the actual thing, because that way there's less chance of it rattling around. So just cut a piece of that. It's not going to get hot enough to melt the plastic, hopefully. That's just going to go in there like that. Literally just going to squish it in there. So when it goes in, it's not going to be banging against the hard plastic. Right, that's that bit done. So in theory, that end is now sorted. It just needs to go on to that. Do I want to do it now or not? Not really. Or should I? Yep, sod it. As you may guess, I don't really do scripts. This is where it gets tricky having short wires, trying to actually get it in there to see what you're doing. So that's why you should have had the wires longer. Get in there, you get. Holy crap. I'm trying not to think of the fact I'm trying to get something black and big into a small hole. That happens to be white. That is just so wrong. Get in there. Stop talking. Yeah, I should have left more length on that wire so I could actually see what I'm doing a bit better. I got one in. Yeah, this is going to be a pain in the ass. What I might actually do is say, sod it, take it apart and start again. Because that's too awkward. Yep, fuck it. That's not going. Basically, what I need is more length on the wire. That's what I need. So I fucked up, basically. So what I'm going to have to do is join the wire back together. Bollocks. Fuck it. Testament, that shrink wrap fucking works. But now it's got to come off. Yeah, basically, because it's so short, it's the right length, but I can't get in there to actually put it together. Fucker, that's hot. Yeah, that's right. See, if you heat it up, the plastic melts and you can take it off. Like that. Okay, that's all right. Same with that one. Nearly off. Right. That's that one. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, for a script. La 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 la. Oh, I mean script as in written down things, not script as in what you get in prison. Did I bring pliers along or not? Let's have a look. Yeah, not the pliers I really want to use for this because that's my nose hair pliers. Right, that's that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is just extend the bloody things again because, yeah, sod it that much. Because it's just not enough length to get in there. I could get them in, but it would take me a bloody eternity to do it. It's that simple. So what I'm going to do, I don't mind doing a wire stripper when it's not attached to something. Like this, wire stripper is great. It's attached to something like that, not so much. Small this, small that. I mean, luckily I've got loads of this stuff anyway. But that, oh, not so great for cutting out. Actually, I want more length on at least one end for the screw to go on. At the end of the day, it is just wire, so I can always take the wire from something else and use. Twist these together. Get on there, you get. Yeah, there's lots of different things people say about, oh, you shouldn't twist it like that, or you shouldn't twist it like this. If I was doing massive voltages, massive power, I'd be more concerned. Or if I was dealing with something where you want it to be a certain amount and it has to be that amount, that's when you want to be more cautious. This, however, not so worried. Yeah, well, there we go. That is on. So that is basically the wire has now been joined together and extended again. Same with this one. Oh yeah, my Rumble got shut down. Well, not my Rumbles anyway. I've got 4 profiles on Rumble. And on those 4 profiles, I've got 30 accounts, channels, but they use different expressions. They're always very religious type expressions, followers and subscribers and stuff like that. Anyway, because I cashed out on one of my profiles, no trouble at all. But the other one, well, one of the other ones, I'd gotten to $49, $99, and $50 is when you cash out. And they're meant to have this thing whereby, as long as you don't get 1,000 demerit points, they won't shut down your channel. I had none. I had no demerit points whatsoever, and they shut my channel down, which is a bit annoying because it's the one where I post the offgrid stuff. But I also do the extra stuff that's not allowed on YouTube, like the laser experiments. Right, that should now be long enough for me to actually do this properly, you know, like that. Use around there. Get you nice and tight in that, like that. That's where we want you to go next, isn't it? Where's that other stuff gone? Just looking for my other things. There we go. I was like going to be too small. Because you get these things, you can get like a pack of these, like a big bundle of them for £1. I think that might be the right size. But I use the black one if I can find it. Not the best of organisation skills at the moment. Where that bloody thing go? Anyway, I got a pack of these things. Nope, I need a bit bigger. Like I say, I got a pack of them. Yep. Blue is the colour. You complain about me biting into a packet from China. I'm more concerned about the water supply, considering how they've actually admitted very discreetly that the water supply is poisoned by fracking intentionally. Where did my scissors go? Yeah, that came out very, very sneakily. See, the BBC it's controlled by Jews and Irish and all the rest of it, but it's not 100% owned by them. That's why they get all their gimps constantly. No, it's too big. Constantly trying to push this, get rid of the BBC, because they're not completely owned by them. By the way, these green will do. And there's a story that came out last year. It's literally blink and you miss it story, and it should have been the headline story of the day, if not the bloody year. And it was a report has come out that the riverways around the UK have been tested and found they contain chemicals that are strong enough to cause sterility in humans. And it literally 10 seconds. That's all the story was, 10 seconds long. And as a result, that was it. So I had a look, and it turns out, yeah, It's on a government website. This story was at 8 minutes to the hour. And it was a case of, this is after the chemicals have been through the body, through the water treatment plants. And it's still got enough high enough concentration to sterilize you after it's been through your body, after it's been through treatment plants. And there's no way you can get it all around the country at the same time and say it's a farmer or say it's a factory. The only way you can get it happening like that is if it's on a wide scale. For it to happen all around the UK at the same time, it's intentional. So I did a little bit of research, as I do. And as it turns out, because I noticed they were doing fracking, which is illegal, in Minehead during the pandemic. They tried, oh, no, it's just we're just test drilling. It's not real fracking, we're just testing. And I did some research into seismic activity around the UK for the past 40 years. There's quite a few agencies that do this. And it turns out that there's unusual seismic activity all around the UK going back 40 odd years. And that's the main thing that tells you where fracking is happening when you get seismic activity. Get on there, yeah. And it's in every area around the UK except areas that are 100% Jewish and 100% Indian. Aside from those two demographics, every area, right, that should now be long enough to do it, has unusual seismic activity. Yeah. It means it won't be as, oh, it's still a bit hot actually, as big of an oomph as you would get with shorter wire, but I just want to get it working to see that it's going to work. Get in there, you. Of course, if I use a magnifying glass, it'll be a lot bloody easier. Yes, I'm sure for a DIY expert or electrician, it would take 2 minutes to do the whole thing. Oh, come on. See, I do not want to drill the hole any bigger because it won't hold the screw. You get. Depth perception is shit on this. Yeah, my hands keep spasming as well from the tendon damage. Fuck! God, that is so fucking irritating. Yeah, because of the tendon damage, my hands will spasm if I try and keep them still for too long. Also, I'm trying to be gentle with it rather than just ramming it in. I think I might have to drill that hole a bit bigger, actually. As Teocon said to his son, make sure the blade is sharp on your wedding night. Fucking nonsense. Right, that one is in. You also have to anticipate the fact that you're going to be spinning out the bloody wire as you're turning it. It may not spin on the thread. But now that's in, that should be nicely stuck in there. Stuck in there. Of course, you go the wrong way around, like that. Go that way around, so I want to turn it like this. Yes, if I had dinky little human hands instead of great big freaking giantess ones. Yeah, you don't get to come back. I don't want to put it too tight in a vise, otherwise it'll crack the bloody casing. Solve it. Come here, you. Shove it in. Yeah, there. If you push it in hard a little bit, the first bit of the thread will grip and hold it in place. Hopefully. What is that? A little bug you don't normally see, but you've got a magnifying glass, you bloody do. Right, try that again. Photobombed by a bug. Little bugger. It's a hassle when you have plants. You tend to also get bugs. Right. Yeah, this is so awkward when you've got big fingers. That's what she likes. Right, that is now done. Make sure when you put it in, make sure you've got no loose wires. You're going to get loose wires. Make sure there's nothing that's going to actually touch the other side. Because if it does, arcing. Not the arcing you want to have happen. You know, bad arcing. You want arcing by your own design, not some bugger else's. Right, so I want to put that so it's not going to zap my desk. So I'm going to test it just to make sure that it's actually working. Where's the battery gone? It was here. I've got a smaller battery. Right, I'm going to use a smaller battery to test it. It's just to see if I buggered the wiring up or not. So just get the wires to touch. Nope, nothing. It might not be a strong enough battery because sometimes you need to have a minimum charge for it to actually work. That works. I'm sorry, it's a child caveman brain. Yep. Oh, I love the smell of ozone. Lovely. Cheers. I was worried. Excuse me. I was worried that I may have buggered that up by messing about with the wire so much. But yeah, so that's working. So that end is done. You just scrub those wires down. Level. A little bit more. I don't mess about too much, as it is actually working at the moment. Yeah, they're in snug and tight. So basically, inside there, you can see what's happening. I'm having to use my crappy webcam to actually do this because my internet connection is the cheapest known to the country. So basically, it's scrunched up the wire, so it's nice and tight inside there. So will I bother putting something else in there or not? Maybe. Think about it. Right. So I've got a little bit of bubble wrap. I'm just going to put that inside there as well, just so it's not going to be banging too much against there. I like that. Solid. Keep that out. So that is now going to have to go inside here, like that, to there. So that is, done from that aspect of it anyway. So those two screws would be my contact points. Now it's a case of, just a case of attaching all the other bits and pieces. This time, I'm going to try and not cut too much wire off. I do have, there's my little black piece of stuff there. Right. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Right. I did have a little picture somewhere of this, how it works. Let's have a look. Because I'm trying to follow some kind of plan. Not much of a plan, but some kind of a plan. Do I really want a chance doing it like this? Yeah, stop it. I mean, this wire stripper is quite handy. I just always worry it's going to cause more damage. So that, I'm not going to cut any wire off that actually because I don't want to. That's the actual pew pew button. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to measure. Let's get rid of this picture. I'm going to see what I'm doing. I'm going to measure this to go on here. So I'm going to measure it so it goes on there. So it covers it. So that's how much I actually want, plus a little bit extra. There. My scissors. Let's get one like that. Yep. Oh, fuck. Bad wrists. Bad wrists. It shouldn't make any difference as long as I get positive in and then to create a circuit and not ass backwards it. So that should be okay to go straight in there. A little twisty. Oh, yeah, first thing to do, put the bloody plastic on the wire. Because you can't put it on into it. Freaking magnifying glass. If I were to ever get cosmetic surgery, I mean, it's not technically cosmetic. If I were to ever get that kind of stuff done, my eyesight, teeth as well would be up there on the list. But the only like voluntary surgery I think I'd ever really go for is my nose. It's not cosmetic. It was broken 40 years ago and it was never fixed. So my snoring is fucking horrendous. Anyway. Yeah, this would be damn near impossible for me to do without this magnifying glass. Even wearing my reading glasses, it would be a nightmare. Right, that's done. And next. Now, how much wire do I need on that? Because the battery has to come out. So it's not just going to go in there and stay in there. It needs enough wire to actually be able to come out of the casing. That's enough wire. That is actually enough wire. Okay, so that will come out to there. Am I going to cock this up again like that? No, I'm not. Yeah, I really fucking been fucking shit. Yep, that's not working. Why are you working? You worked just now. Really being a pain. If you got the teeth, you can just bite the wire and strip it that way. Or you can use a lighter or other things to strip it. Why is that not working? This wire is not happy. It's not happy wire. Other wire is no trouble. Ah, it's a different kind of wire. Anyway, that's done. So I need to put on the wrong one. That needs to go onto this one. One thing the shrink wrap meltable plastic is really good for is stopping you from getting arcing in between these things because they're so fucking fiddly. So you take your little sleeve, shove it down on there, take your little slide and shove it in on there as well. Yeah. Just like that. Just make sure there's no little bit sticking up there. See, I want to make sure there's no loose threads of wire that could make a connection or make an arc in between. That's not quite. on enough. You heat it up and then you can squish it together a bit more if you want. I'm not an expert. I've only recently started doing this stuff. I'm used to doing things like I'm old-fashioned biker mentality, using things like Vaseline on my nuts, and which sounds really, really wrong. But if you're putting a nut on something and you want to stop it from seizing up, if you put Vaseline on it, then that will actually create a waterproof layer and will stop it corroding and seizing up. So that is now done. And I've done that wrong, haven't I? Bollocks! I've done that wrong. Fuck. The reason I've done it wrong is that the butter needs to go through that hole first. So that's got to come off. Bollocks, 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 bollocks. Yeah, learn from my mistakes, kiddies. Don't do it the way I do it. Do it the way an intelligent person does it. So how the hell am I going to be able to do that and then put it through the hole? Because I'm going to have to join it all together. Right, that's why you've got such long wires here. That's why these wires are so long, because you've got to attach it to there, bring it out of the device, and then attach it. Yeah, they really should have given instructions for this bloody thing. Well, that can come off. That can come off, because I've got plenty of that stuff I can use. Right, yeah, so what I've got to do is attach it to the switch first, then put the switch in, and then try and attach it. That's why you've got such extra bloody wire, because it's a fiddly thing. Because when that goes in, like that, to there, you've then got to have these wires outside to attach this, and then push them back inside to put it in there. That's going to be a pain in the ass. So I've got to actually attach those wires first. Right, so I've got to extend both of these wires, or do I not have to extend these wires? I could have put a negative on that one, put a positive on that one, have that so it's going out, put it all the way through. Right, so if I attach those two together, how not to do wiring, kiddies. So it'll come out, that'll be attached. Then that's got to come out to be attached to that one. So that has to go onto there. Right, I'm getting there. Getting there. Fortunately, it's not high earth metals, difficult shit to get hold of. It's bits of plastic, bits of wire that does not want to stay on. Get on there, you get. This can actually strip this time. This time, this way. Yeah, I've given up trying to do it the official way. I'm doing it the way that I know works. You have to bear in mind, I grew up in an era of Mad Max, the original Mad Max. Ow, hot, ow, hot, ow, hot. I'm doing it as it's hot so I can squish it, get a tighter fit. I grew up in the era of the Mad Max stuff where we used to go out around the quarries. Same quarries, actually, where they used to do, what's his name? Not Sheep, that's Wales. Where they used to do things like Blake Seven and Doctor Who. We used to make our own fireworks. We get a plastic bottle, we get some petrol, and we light the top of it and then kick it. It's amazing how fast you run when your hair is on fire. So, that will go down through there, which means I need to attach the switch onto there. Must remember I've got 2 switches to attach. But that one I'm not too worried about at the moment. So get it red to red. It's on the outside. The black one. Yeah, this is gonna be a pain in the ass because I'm gonna have to do it before I put it in. La 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 la. Da da da. Like I say, worst case scenario, I've got plenty of wire lying around. I can always cannibalize something. So let's put the negatives together. Or do I want to put negatives together? No, I don't. Let's have a little think before I start doing that again. Okay, that one, I think I'll put onto that one. And then that one can go onto that one. Don't go onto there. Right. It's one of those things. Is it enough vodka or not enough vodka? Let's have some vodka. Fortunately, I make my own. And it's lovely. Where'd that bit go? I just cut off. There. So, what the hell was I talking about just now? Bollocks! My brain. That needs to go onto that one. That needs to go onto that one. That needs to go on there. Right, let's put you, like the shape, onto the switch. There. Don't go through both bloody holes. This is not double penetration. Get out of there. There. On there. So that's the switch. That end's going to go onto that end of the switch. And that can go onto there. And I'll be buggered in my That's wrong way around. Fuck it. Eek. And that can go on that way. So let's go onto the outside. It's wrong way around, isn't it? Bollocks. Right, so that's on there. Oh, if only I had working tendons and ligaments. Fucking bike crash. So that's there for the switch. That's fine. No, it's not, is it? Bollocks. Yeah. I think it's a case of either not enough vodka or too much vodka. So take that one off. And that can actually go, fuck it, on there. Right. Like that. Okay, now can I take that off? See, I want to make sure I can take these things off rather than just shove it all together first. In theory, you can just push those in and off he pops. Jolly good. Right. So, I need a connection for that switch to be external. This is long one, which is going to go on there. So that one's got to go first. If I do that one first, that'll save me clocking it up. Let's put on some blue wiring, shall we? Will that fit? Bit snug, but that'll do. Where's the green stuff? There's green stuff. Yeah. Right. Scissors. La la la. Yeah, daddy. Da da da. That's got on that switch. Needs to be longer. Yep. Right. Okie dokie. As mentioned before, these things are quite handy and quite cheap. If you get the step-up generator, the arc generator thingy, then you get your battery compartment, you get your switches. It's £2 or £3. To get it with this plastic casing that fits, I think it's £8 in total, or £8 something in total. Which is nice. It's like a lot of stuff. It's legal to have these things and do these things until you use it in a certain way. Then it becomes illegal. So just having it and doing it is not illegal. It's only if you use it in a certain way that it becomes illegal. Right, that's nice and snug. Right, so now in theory that can go through, and that's still going to fucking work, is it? Going to go on there, go through there, go through there. Yeah, this is being a right pain in the ass. Because to get it through there, it's got to go in there first, go in there first, and then through there. Right, so it goes through there first, and goes into there. Yeah. To be continued with more vodka.